House parties are some of the best experiences a person can have. But most will say that having a house party at your house isn't as fun as going to someone else's because they can get messy. Let's be honest. People at house parties, they don't think straight. Today's story time is about one of the times where someone had a house party at their house and it didn't go so good. Let's get into it. So this story time takes place 6 years ago. So I was 10 years old. And on this day I was hanging out with my boy Mike. That's what we'll call him. And we were just sitting there like playing video games in his room. You know, typical kid stuff. So I was playing video games in his room. His sister just like barges into his room. And it's like, you know, breathing heavy and stuff like that. So both of us kind of turned around and we're like, what's going on? She was like, listen guys, I'm gonna have some friends over today. Don't come out this room. And she just left. Like she just closed the door and left. So me and Mike, we didn't really think too much about it. We were just like, okay, like she's having some friends with her. Fast forward to nighttime, and it was more than just friends. It had to be a cool 30 people that pulled up. So now we kind of hear like music going, we hear like people, you know, screaming, you know, typical stuff that you hear when you go to a party. And Mike's just kind of like sitting there, and I can tell he's getting annoyed because like we're trying to like play the game, but we can't hear the game over like people screaming and like hear people running up and down the steps to like the bathroom and stuff like that. So he was like, yo, I'm about to go check that out. And I was like, you sure? Like, you know, your sister did say like stay in the room. And he was like, no, because I think she's doing something our parents would like. So I follow him. He basically opens his door and instantly you can smell alcohol and stuff like that. So we walk downstairs, full blown party. I mean, like everything in her living room was moved to the side. Everything in the dining room was moved to the side. People was on the kitchen counter just like sitting there drinking. People were dancing and stuff like that. We figured out it was a party. Mike's sister walks up to us. She's like, I told you guys to stay in your room. We're like, what's going on? And Mike was like, Mom and Dad say you can't have no party. You know, she was like, yo, shut up. Don't tell Mom and Dad. I'm gonna beat you up. I'm gonna beat you back. So he was like, all right, I'm just down here to get something to drink. She's like, all right, the drinks are in the refrigerator. Don't get anything that you shouldn't drink. And then she goes back with her friends. So we go to the refrigerator. We get us 2 Capri Suns. We head back upstairs. And Mike and me are kind of just like we stopped playing the game completely. We're just talking about how like they're really having a house party at Mike's house. And Mike's like, I hope people don't trash the house and stuff. And like, I hope that, you know, he's basically hoping that his house is in a good condition because their parents were supposed to come back that very next day. So I was kind of like, yo, come on, your sister's mature. Like, I don't think she'll let none of that happen. Second I said that, we hear like this crashing, like something just like slam hit the ground and we hear like glass shot. And like Mike kind of looks at me with like that I told you so face. And I'm like, come on, let's see what happens. So we get off the room, go back downstairs. Basically, somebody had like tripped and fell on one of the chairs, broke a glass in the middle of the floor. Nobody cleaned it up. Everybody just kept partying. So we're like, yep, the house is not going to look that good. So we go back upstairs and we're kind of just trying to like drown it out with the video games. We turned Mike's TV up all the way. I'm kind of just sitting there like playing games or whatever. So eventually, probably like an hour or two later, some random group of girls just like barges into Mike's room and it's like, where's the bathroom? So like Mike kind of like points and he's like, oh, past my mom's room, the bathroom's right there. It's at the end of the hall. And I'm like, oh, thank you. So one of the girls leaves. The other ones, they kind of just stay in Mike's room and start asking us like, what are we playing? How old are we? Like, is this your house? You know, stuff like that. So Mike's answering their questions and everything. And then like, we basically hear like somebody fall and then like a bunch of grown people. And when we heard that, like the girls and me and Mike, we all just kind of like went to that room. So we go to the bathroom. We basically said the girl who's using the bathroom, she's sitting there like on the floor, toilet seat up. And she was just kind of like, So we're like, yo, what's wrong? She was like, I don't know, but I think our friend has to throw up. Like one of the girls in the group said. So we were like, oh, well, you know, put her near the toilet so she don't throw up all over the floor. And then like the girl who was on the floor, she was like, I don't have to throw up. I'm fine. Come on, let's go back downstairs. So they get her up. So the way Mike's house is set up is like, when you first walk upstairs, that's Mike's room. And then his sister's room is across. Then you go down, and that's like Mike's parents' room. And then at the end of the hall is the bathroom. So we walk out of the bathroom. We're walking towards like the mom's room. And then like one of the girls was like, would you mind if we see like what's in this room? And before Mike could even say anything, like one of them just opened the door and they all basically go in there. So they go in there, they're looking. Mike's mom had like this crazy like vase. It just looked real cool. So the girl who was like sick at first, she was basically like holding the vase and kind of just looking at it, and she's like spinning it. And Mike's like, "Stop! Like, don't do that." And then things took a turn for the worse. I heard the girl say like, and when she said that, like everyone kind of looked at her and was like, "Yo, you good?" And one of the girls tried to like take the vase from her, and the girl just started hydro pumping out her mouth. Like she just like she started throwing up. So when she started throwing up, the girl who was trying to take the vase got some throw up on her hand and just like pushed the vase like closer like, to the girl that was throwing up her mouth so she could throw up in the vase. Whole time, Mike's sitting there freaking out because he is like, "Yo, that's my mom's vase. Like, don't throw up there. Go to the bathroom. Like he kept saying bathroom, but she was just throwing up in this vase. So eventually, she threw up so much to the point where like, it was leaking out the vase. So now Mike runs downstairs, tells his sister. His sister comes up, basically like the sister and a group of friends help her to the toilet where she does the rest of the throw up. She flushes it. They kind of like dump the throw up from the vase out. But you know, it still had that smell and it still had pieces of throw up in it. And like the sister, she's mad because like the inside of the vase had like some dirt in it. And the mom would recognize if the dirt was not there. So like they were basically screwed. Like now they know that somebody threw up in that vase. So the sister, she shuts down the party. She tells everybody to go home. And she's kind of like mad. Mike's mad at her. Sister calls the mom, basically explains everything that happens. Like that happened. And the mom and the dad, they get back a day early. They're mad. Mike didn't get on punishment, but the sister did. But the mom also did tell me to leave. So I left. And yeah, so moral of the story, go to a house party instead of having a house party at your house. Because that way you don't have to do this stuff. So if you enjoyed that story, make sure you smash the like button, turn on post notifications, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Whoa.